get myself set up here. Okay. Are you guys ready for meat and potato bowls?
Yes, we're ready.
Yay, we're in the kitchen today doing our meat and potato bowls. And there's two ways that you can do them. One is you can bake everything, do it on a roasting, like on a baking sheet with some parchment paper, and add a little bit of oil and add all your spices to it. Or we're going to do it oil-free. So what we're going to do is bake it in the oven with a casserole dish that I've got here that has a lid, a little bit of water to keep it the vegetables moist. And then we can, if you want to crisp them up, you can put them in the oven on the baking sheet just for the last 10 minutes or so. All right. And we are going to use mushrooms, portobello mushroom, for our meaty texture that we have. So, shall we get going?
Let's do this.
Very easy to do. So we're going to start off by I'm going to do the chopping because what I want to show you is how easy it is to make these bowls that you don't have to spend a ton of time in the kitchen. All I did was wash the vegetables and pretty much that's it. So I'm just going to chop up my mushroom here. I cut it in half because it's a pretty big one. And then I'm cutting it. You can do it in whatever size. I've kind of got about a 1/4 inch here for my size. And I'm going to just throw them into, have to hit the casserole dish. Now, if you don't have a casserole, this is my beautiful casserole dish. It was a gift from my mom a number of years ago. It's made by, it's a clay pottery, done by pottery. So I treasure it. She has a bigger one. I have the smaller one. I have my potatoes here, and I'm keeping the skin on. If you don't want the skin, you can cut it off, but remember there are lots of nutrients in the skin. So I just wash the skin very thoroughly, and I'm just going to cut it into kind of bite-sized pieces here. So cubes, more or less. So I'm going to do that. And then I can take and then just cube it here. So my cubes are, kind of bite size, I would say. And I just throw that into my casserole dish. Do the other half. And throw that in. I have some onion here this is half an onion because I did half of the recipe this morning and I'm doing the other half now. And I'm just going to slice it. So I'm going to take the half and just slice it up. So my slices look like this. So it's not cubed or diced. It's just a slice. So you get a little bigger chunks. And I'm going to put that in there too. All right. And then I have some asparagus. Spears is right now it's spring. Asparagus is in season. So I'm using asparagus. You could use other vegetables if you don't have asparagus. And I'm just laying that on top. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some seasonings and a little bit of water. So I'm just going to add about a 1/4 cup of water here. And then I'm going to add seasonings, which I forgot to put out. Yay. You can see me put them out right now.
The Deb Show is live.
It is. It's all good. It's all good. I have all my seasonings ready to go. My Costco size seasonings. More or less. So I have some onion powder. See, it's all Costco size because that's what we use here in this house. And I'm just going to approximate it with my hand here. That's my measurement. So it's about a teaspoon of each or so. And you can kind of play with it to get whatever, taste you want out of it. So I have garlic powder, onion powder. I'm going to throw in some oregano as well. Why not? A little bit of oregano, a little bit of paprika here. That's the one I have to open up. They don't make this one as easy to open up. So I'm going to open that up, put my paprika in. I've added about a 1/4 cup of water. That's what's going to keep it moist. We'll throw these off to the side now. We don't need them. And so I'm just going to kind of toss it around with my hands here. All right. And then once it's all tossed up, I kind of left my asparagus on top, but the rest of the stuff is tossed on. I'm going to put the lid on and I'm going to put this in the oven. And then we'll let it bake. I'm baking on a lower heat because it preserves the nutrients in the vegetables a bit more than when you do higher heat. So I've got 350, and it's going to be about 30 to 40 minutes until the potatoes are soft. And like I said, you can do the last 10 to 15 minutes in the oven on a baking sheet if you'd like, to get it like so it's a little more crispy rather than steamed. All right, so I'm going to throw that in and magically take out my other steamed vegetables that are kind of crisping up. All right, so we'll put that in, and I'm putting on my timer because if you saw me the other day, I roasted potatoes. I baked potatoes in the oven and forgot to put the timer on, and they were in the oven for way too long. And they ended up like hockey pucks, so that was not good. All right. And so that's basically it. So you just let it cook, bake. And so if you are doing our Kickstart program right now, this is something that you could add to your menu if you'd like. This is perfectly fine on the Kickstart program. And so I actually have some peppers. So you could put the peppers, which I had sliced up, you could put them in the baking, or if you want, you can do them fresh on top. It's up to you. So I wanted to add a little more freshness. So I've got some fresh stuff. So now we're going to assemble our dressing that we're going to use. So for this one, it's a very simple dressing. Now I did not put any salt on the on my vegetables because I'm going salt free. You could add a little bit of salt if you would like. But I've been following a program that I'm trying to be salt-free for the most part. Now, I know Dijon mustard has a bit of salt. So this dressing is simple. It's balsamic vinaigrette. I'm using flaxseed oil, which is part of the program, and it's also something you can use on the Kickstart program, or just if you like, for things that are not cooked. You wouldn't use flaxseed oil for cooking, but it's good for putting on salads and stuff. It's very rich in omega-3 fatty acids. And what I did is I've got a clove of garlic, and I decided just to mince the garlic ahead of time. I've got one big piece that I'm going to take out because that'll be a big surprise. I like garlic, but not that much. So I'm just going to put that off to the side. So just to let it, to let the garlic infuse in the oil, but also when you mince it ahead of time, it releases the allanase, so that's where the nutrients are. So I'm just going to pour that into my balsamic vinaigrette. I'm going to wipe this spoon because I want to use it to get a little bit of Dijon mustard out. So it's about a teaspoon. And you can measure it carefully, but given that it's a dressing, I'm just going to wing it a little bit. And that's it. It's like 4 ingredients. Oil, balsamic vinaigrette, Dijon mustard, and garlic. That's all there is. Now I have a little whisk here to help with the blending it up. I'm just going to blend it up. So that's basically all you're doing for your dressing. And then we're just going to assemble our bowl, and that's it. All right, let's put this here so we don't spill it. Now, today I'm using one of my favorite bowls that I have. So this one is a white one, and it's got deep bowl. So I'm going to start off by putting in some spring mix. So you can do spinach or other lettuce. I use the spring mix. And this is my one of my time tricks here is, if you can, this is already pre-washed. It comes straight from the grocery store. I'm just going to make a bed of lettuce. And I might try cutting it up just a little bit with my knife here, because these lettuce tend to be very big. I don't need this big piece here, or like this. That's one piece, right? So I just kind of just put my knife through so that I can kind of make it into manageable bites. And then I have a bed of lettuce here. So I just got a bed of lettuce here. And then I'm just going to add in some of my veggies. So here's my roasted veggies that I did. So there will be, for mine, they're going to be a bit on the softer side. They're a little bit crunched up. So it depends on how long you put them in the oven. And so I'm just going to kind of arrange this on top of my, and I have this one that I did this morning. I added some peppers in. So you can see I have some cooked peppers. So you can do either way, or you can do both. So I'm going to add them in. I'm trying to work around my asparagus so I can put them on top. I've got my asparagus, or my all my potatoes, my hearty bowl. Oh, there goes an asparagus there. So I have my my meat, my mushrooms, and my potatoes, and my peppers and onions. I'm just going to add the asparagus on top. These ones are really soft. If you like your asparagus more on the firm side, you might want to put it in a little bit after you start, because it will bake faster than the other stuff, like the potatoes. So you might want to give it about 10 minutes before you put it in the oven. But I think asparagus about 20 minutes is good for the cooking time. All right. And then, excuse me, I'm going to add some fresh stuff to it. I have a little bit of shredded carrots. And again, as a time trick, excuse me, hang on. My time trick is to buy these already shredded in the store. And then they add a nice color to the bowl. As you can see, the nice color it's adding. I'm going to add a few. I'm just going to cut these up a little bit so they're more bite-sized pieces. And I'm going to add a little bit more here. Just add them. Along with, I have some cherry tomatoes here. Going to add those on. And I've got a little bit of onion. So I'm going to add a little more red onion. This one is diced. I just keep a bowl diced onions in my fridge so we can just add them to our salads. Another time trick, just kind of keep it going. And so I just basically, when we run out, I just cut up another onion. Keep it going. And that way we actually use the onion, because nobody wants to cut them up. But if they're there, cut up in the fridge, they get used. All right. And all I need to do is add my dressing, and then I'm set to go. I'm just going to stir that up again. and use my spoon to just pour it over top of my stuff. And I like a lot of dressing, by the way, so I'm going to use a lot. And I have no guilt about using a lot of dressing because I know that it's all good stuff. So you might not want to use as much as I do, but that's fine. And I'm going to top it off with a little bit of avocado. So I've got a little bit of avocado here that we've got a half that one of my kids ate half. So I'm going to use the other half, or part of the other half anyway. I'm just going to slice up some avocado slices. I don't want to use the whole thing, so I'm just going to do 3 slices. Put that back. And just add this to the top. You can add some greens. Kathy, I think some sprouts would be good here too, eh? Add some sprouts on to the top.
And you know, Costco sells sprouts now too.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know if ours does. Ooh, that sounds good, eh? Ready-made sprouts. All right. And there you have it. We have a meatless and potato bowl here.
It looks beautiful.
And so that is going to be my lunch. Oh, of course, I got to try it. See if I can get some of this stuff. I could actually cut up my asparagus because they're pretty big there. But that's okay. Big one. Mm-mm. 2 thumbs up from me. And, you know, Kathy, you said, I think the last time you said what the nice thing is to have a little something warm on your salad too, or you make a nice bowl here. All right, let me put that back together.
And I like how you got crunch in there too, because I like crunch. I think a lot of people are like me. They want crunch.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's important to have texture. I watch some of the cooking shows. Hang on, something went the wrong way. Let me get my tea. Whenever I watch those cooking shows where they have challenges or they're like competitions, they always are talking about the texture. You really need to have texture in it. So the avocado would give you a smooth texture, creamy texture. And then you've got your veggies, or fresh veggies give a bit of crunch. And then you've got your warm. And then your acid with the balsamic vinaigrette. Now, one of the other tricks that I learned, if you're not using salt and it doesn't have enough like salt to and you want to have like more flavor, the way to kind of get that salty or try and freshen it up so that you don't miss the salt is to use a lemon. So add a sprinkle of lemon juice. But this one feels fine. I don't even notice it because the balsamic vinaigrette is kind of doing that job in here with the acid. And so you've got all your different things. And this will make a nice lunch for me, for sure. Any questions?
I think it's kind of cruel that you're going to eat that in front of me and OJ, but okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, you want to have some too.
No, you can make it for yourself too. That's the point. All right. Now, if there's no questions, we will be back on Monday, and we're going to talk a bit more about some of what I learned at the Vegan Women's Summit for the rest of next week before we move on to the next topic. So we'll see you next week. Oh, Monday, it's a holiday in Canada, so I'm going to have a interview that I did with one of the experts I've interviewed. So you can watch that on Monday, and I will be back live on Tuesday. So we'll see you Tuesday. Bye for now.